Greetings everyone, my name is Max and today I will be joining you to examine another terrible case. Although they weren't very close friends at the time, Lauren Hugelmaier first met Matt Phelps in middle school. But something unexpected occurred years later, when Lauren and Matt were both 26 years old. Matt contacted Lauren on Instagram because they hadn't communicated in a while. Lauren obliged, intrigued by this unexpected request, and began to follow Matt back. Matt was intrigued and decided to check out Lauren's Instagram account more closely. He liked every one of her posts as he scrolled through them. He found Lauren intriguing for some reason, and he found himself drawn to her. Lauren and Matt kept up their regular phone calls and texts as time went on. They found that they had a lot in common, especially a fondness for Star Wars, Harry Potter, and other sci-fi literature. Their friendship soon developed into something more as their talks were full of humor and common interests. Lauren found Matt especially appealing because of his commitment to his beliefs. Having been raised in a Christian home, Lauren held a deep regard for God. She was comforted by their shared values and ideals, and she liked that Matt felt the same way. Lauren and Matt seemed, to the outer world, to be a passionately in love couple. Those around them seemed to think they had discovered their soulmates because of the joy and happiness that radiated from their connection. It was a matter of time until Matt made the decision to ask Lauren to marry him. Father Lauren had a strong protective bond with his daughter. The idea of her being married to someone he hardly knew worried him, as he had always worried about her safety and well-being. To commemorate Lauren and Matt's happy news, their loved ones hosted an engagement party after they were engaged. Lauren looked amazing in a gorgeous white dress and was overjoyed. But when Matt's mother showed up at the party wearing all white, seemingly in disdain for Lauren, things took an unexpected turn. Everyone could see Matt's mother was not happy about her son's choice to wed Lauren. After the engagement party, Lauren couldn't contain her anger and frustration, and went over to Matt to confront him about his mother's actions. But Matt waved her worries away, saying he'd spent his childhood with his grandparents, not his parents. Matt continued by saying he didn't have the finest relationship with his mother, and that he didn't give a damn about what she thought. In 2016, Lauren and Matt decided to move to Raleigh, North Carolina, following their engagement. They continued to live their lives according to their beliefs, and stayed true to their Christian principles while moving. Matt worked for a company that provided in-home care. He was named Employee of the Month in recognition of his dedication and hard work. Lauren was so pleased of her husband's commitment and diligence. Lauren, though, made just as big of an impact. She frequently worked up to 4 jobs at once in order to fund their shared life. Lauren worked full-time at a Fortune 500 company, but she also looked for additional ways to help them maintain their financial stability. She worked as a babysitter as a side gig. She also cared for young children in the church nursery while their parents attended services. In addition, Lauren sold candles as a side gig. She explored several opportunities since she had an entrepreneurial spirit and was driven to excel in whatever she set her mind to. She was particularly drawn to the concept of starting her own company because it presented the possibility of financial independence and the chance to produce something worthwhile. Lauren and Matt would go to her parents' place every Tuesday night for game night. Each week, they eagerly anticipated this occasion. Matt was always anxious to spend time with Lauren's family and would arrive on schedule. He seems to relish the chance to connect and form bonds with them. Lauren and Matt were married in Wake Forest, North Carolina, in November 2016, as a way to celebrate their union. Their special day was full of happiness, humor, and a hint of their mutual love of nerdy things. Including some geeky elements that Lauren and Matt adore was one of the loveliest touches that really made the wedding unforgettable. The gentleman turned the wedding into a Star Wars-themed party by dressing up in suits and brandishing lightsabers. Breakdowns in Matt and Lauren's marriage occurred soon after their marriage. Matt felt uncomfortable with Lauren's tight friendship with a male church friend, which was one of the key difficulties. Matt was worried that their connection was becoming too tight because he thought this friend had affections for Lauren. But Lauren made an effort to reassure Matt that she was dedicated to her marriage and had no feelings for him. Matt's previous marriage experiences were the source of his trust issues. He disclosed that his ex-wife had cheated on him when she was out on a missionary trip. Upon her eventual return home, she told him she was going, and that she had never loved him. Matt struggled and was left severely injured by the treachery and desertion. Matt claimed that his first marriage had a significant emotional toll, and that he was emotionally damaged for a considerable amount of time. Matt appeared to be growing more and more dissatisfied with his marriage to Lauren. His mood shifted from cheerful and satisfied to gloomier and more melancholy. There was no denying that he appeared to be trapped in a dark place, and that something was clearly bothering him. Matt started acting more and more aloofly toward his beliefs at this point. He appeared dissatisfied and uninterested in going to church with his spouse. For Lauren, who placed a high value on her faith, this choice was a serious blow. She saw her husband's reluctance to discuss this part of her life with her to be a personal slight. Lauren could not help but observe that Matt seemed to completely dismiss all Lauren held dear. Their relationship was becoming more and more empty, as it seemed like his admiration and affection had diminished. Though Matt seemed uninterested, Lauren yearned for a closer relationship based on shared beliefs and interests with her husband. Lauren, who was working many jobs to support them, became very annoyed when Matt began acting sluggish. Lauren became really frustrated with his habit of finding a job, staying there for a few weeks, and then abruptly quitting. She was especially irritated by Matt's reckless spending of their money, which made it difficult for her to recoup it. The friends and relatives of Lauren and Matt attempted to help him overcome his sadness, but their efforts appeared to be in vain. Matt would lose several hours playing video games in front of the TV, devoid of any important activity or asking for aid. Their relationship was strained, and his and Lauren's financial stability was impacted by this activity. Because of Matt's strange behavior, Lauren realized she needed help and called her mother and sister. After a hard day, Lauren opened up to them, telling them how tired she was from working 4 jobs and how depressing it was to come home to a cluttered house, laundry to do, and food to cook. Lauren felt abandoned and overburdened since Matt seemed to prioritize spending their money and playing video games. Lauren was dedicated to her marriage and wanted to see it through, even in the face of Matt's odd behavior and growing estrangement from her. Her steadfast choice to stick by Matt's side through all of their difficulties together demonstrated her commitment to their marriage. She never wavered in her conviction that their marriage was of preserving. Lauren and Matt's relationship was at its worst, just around the time of their 4-month wedding anniversary. The fact that Matt was missing Tuesday night's game night at Lauren's family home was one notable alteration that caused for concern. Lauren and her family were saddened by this choice, which appeared purposeful to them because they perceived it as a willful act of disrespect. Lauren saw that things needed to change since she was feeling distant from Matt. Matt didn't seem to be listening to Lauren when she tried to express her sentiments and concerns. She didn't want to lose the love they shared together, and was worried that their marriage was slipping away. Lauren was prepared to try anything at that point in order to keep her marriage to Matt intact. Lauren consented to take a road trip to Bowling Green, Kentucky, where Matt's family resided, when Matt suggested doing so. She believed that running away with Matt would help their tense relationship and possibly lead to a return to their previous state. A surprise awaited Lauren and Matt when they got to Bowling Green, Kentucky. They made the decision to travel with Matt's parents, his mother, and her husband. But the outcome wasn't what was anticipated. Though they had arrived together, Matt's mother remained cold toward Lauren, and her feelings had not altered. Throughout the journey, Matt's mother's cold attitude caused friction among the group. As the trip progressed, Lauren was featured in a family photo shoot that Matt's mother organized. Lauren was thrilled to participate in an activity with her mother-in-law, holding out hope that their relationship would change as a result. Matt's mother texted Lauren a few days prior to the photo shoot to let her know that everyone will be wearing blue. Lauren eagerly followed the directions and went shopping, purchasing a new blue dress for Matt and one for herself. She was excited to participate in the photo shoot and wear the clothing she had selected. But when they got to the agreed-upon spot, they saw that everyone was wearing white, except for Lauren and Matt. Lauren turned to Matt's mother for an explanation, feeling bewildered and let down. But rather than accepting her error, Matt's mother behaved angrily at Lauren. She started to act aggressively, giving the impression that Lauren had chosen to wear blue. Angry with the circumstances, Lauren attempted to clarify that she had followed guidelines and purchased blue clothing in line with them. But Matt's mother kept making things worse, losing her cool and calling off the picture session completely. Lauren and Matt's relationship was still failing when they got back from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Matt began acting even more strangely as he spent more and more time by himself writing in his notebooks. Lauren saw changes in her husband's mood and was concerned about his actions. After setting aside money for their future trip to Disney World, Lauren started to fear Matt was stealing from the Disney fund. When she learned that Matt might have also taken money from her purse without her knowledge, her suspicions were increased. During this period, Lauren would frequently contact her mother in tears. She once informed her mother she only had enough money to pay the bills for 1 month, and nothing more when she suspected Matt of stealing money from their vacation fund and her pocketbook. Lauren was scared and nervous after learning this, since she knew she and Matt were going to face a big financial obstacle. Lauren and Matt had saved $10,000 when they got married, less than a year before they began their life together, which they thought would be a good starting point for their future. But by this time in their marriage, Matt and Lauren were experiencing financial difficulties. They'd managed to spend through their savings rather quickly, despite their initial sense of confidence. Matt spent way too much, quickly depleting their funds. After a tough workday, Lauren would text Matt to discuss their dinner arrangements that evening. She also revealed that earlier in the day, a female coworker had paid them a visit at their house. Lauren was concerned about this woman's visit because of the tension in her marriage to Matt. That a lady had approached her husband at their house made Lauren question if she should be concerned. The more she considered the reality of Matt's first marriage, the more uneasy she became. She made the decision to look into this issue more thoroughly since she was curious and wanted to know the truth. College sweethearts Matt and Brooke Truitt, his first wife, met and fell in love. Matt proposed to Brooke after they had been together for 2 years and they were shortly hitched. Matt acknowledged to Brooke that he had kissed another female, but Brooke would later claim that Matt cheated on her early in their relationship. Though upset, Brooke eventually gave Matt her forgiveness. Just before they got married, Matt cheated on Brooke a second time. Matt asked Brooke to forgive him at that point, and she eventually did, and they got married. The relationship between Matt and Brooke soured rapidly after they were married. Afterwards, Brooke charged Matt with wasting money on items they couldn't afford, even though it was she who was providing for them by working 40 hours a week. Matt and Brooke's marriage suffered from the ongoing stress in their union. They began to emotionally drift away and grew more aloof. Matt and Brooke eventually got divorced. Lauren shocked her parents by telling them that she had found Matt had strayed on his first marriage, rather than his ex-wife. Her family was terrified of what Matt's overprotective father would do to him if they told him the truth, and they were filled with resentment and a sense of betrayal. They therefore said nothing and kept the news to themselves. Lauren's dissatisfaction with her husband increased dramatically as their marriage crumbled. Their already shaky confidence was further damaged by the revelation of yet another betrayal. Lauren found that Matt had once more betrayed her confidence with regard to their finances, just when she had begun to regain faith in their union. She discovered that Matt had spent $11,200 on video games and an additional $100 on gift cards when she received their most recent credit card statement. These rash purchases, which Matt made without telling Lauren or getting her permission, only made her dissatisfaction grow and her misgivings about Matt's devotion to their marriage worse. Lauren was resolved to use every resource at her disposal to keep her marriage intact, even in the face of Matt's persistent betrayals. Lauren was so determined to make things work that she never even considered getting a divorce. She then made the decision to arrange an intervention with her mother and sister in order to confront Matt about his extravagant spending patterns. Lauren, her mother, and her sister wanted to help with creating a budget plan for him and Lauren during the intervention. Matt had a good attitude and really wanted to solve his and Lauren's financial problems. He gave off the impression that he was sincerely interested in improving their marriage. The same woman Matt used to work with showed up unexpectedly at Lauren and Matt's front door on August 31st, 2017. Things had been going so well between Lauren and Matt that she was taken aback and disturbed to see this woman. Matt told Lauren he was taking her out on a date and that she needed his help with something. Lauren started furiously messaging and contacting Matt since she was so angry with him for this decision, but Matt said nothing and didn't return her calls or texts. Lauren turned to her sister and let out her anger, furious. She articulated her conviction that Matt was destroying her life and informed her sister that their relationship was finished. Additionally, Lauren said that she had told Matt that she was going to stop their relationship. Matt Phelps was the person on the other end of a 911 call that arrived in the wee hours of September 1st, 2017. Trembling with fear and panic, Matt told the dispatcher, "I think I killed my wife. I had a dream, and then I turn on the lights and she's dead on the floor. I have blood all over me, and there's a bloody knife on the bed, and I think I did it. She's not moving. Oh my God, I'm so scared. She didn't deserve this." His voice was full with astonishment and shame, making him sound insecure. Matt gave the 911 dispatcher an explanation for why he thought he might have killed his wife. Matt claims he may have taken more cold and cough medicine than was recommended. He had taken Coracidin cough medicine. According to Matt, he took the Coracidin drug since he was aware that it would be helpful and improve his quality of sleep at night. A typical over-the-counter drug for treating common cold and flu symptoms is Coracidin. It relieves cough, sore throat, and nasal congestion by combining antihistamines, decongestants, and painkillers. But Coracidin has also been linked to a number of adverse effects, such as disorientation, drowsiness, and dizziness. When these effects are taken in larger doses or in combination with other drugs, they may become more noticeable. The Raleigh Police Department showed up at Matt and his wife's house a few minutes after he had called 911 to report her death. When they got there, Matt was standing on the front steps. He was quickly taken into custody by the authorities, who made sure he was safe. When the cops entered the property, they found the main bedroom to be in a horrible state. Lauren was discovered dead on the bedroom floor, in the fetal position. There was blood all over the carpet, walls, comforter, and bed in this graphic sight. The scene was quite unsettling, even to the police officers with the most experience. The sight of Lauren's lifeless body and the copious amounts of blood was horrifying. When the crime scene detectives showed up, they started their methodical work of gathering all the evidence. They went over the entire house, looking carefully for any hints that would shed light on what had happened that evening. The detectives collected samples, took pictures, and gathered any tangible objects that were connected to the crime as part of their thorough documentation of the scene. Police detectives were forced to make the painful choice to go to Lauren's family home and tell them that their cherished daughter had passed away, while the crime scene investigators carried out their investigation in Matt and Lauren's home. Lauren's mother responded to the police's knock on the door by inquiring as to whether Lauren was experiencing any problems. Lauren's mother persisted, wondering if her daughter was dead, to which the officer somberly responded, "Yes, there is." Her heart was racing. Lauren's sister was shocked and horrified to hear her mother's piercing screams when she was told that her mother had been killed by her husband. The officer responded, "Yes, she is," once more. She was overcome with emotion and dared to ask the most crucial question. Did Matt kill Lauren? The officer, with a heavy heart, confirmed her suspicions. She bolted from the stairs. As she got to the foot of the stairs, she saw the police officers by the front door, who verified her worst fear. Her sister had passed away. After being questioned by the police at the station about his role in his wife's murder, Matt made the decision to ask for legal representation. Matt made this request, and the cops responded by stopping the interrogation. To find out if Matt was impaired by Coracidin when the murder was committed, they drove him to the hospital for a blood test. After the blood test, Matt was taken to the county jail and taken into custody on charges of murder. Following Matt's apprehension, law enforcement officials scrutinized his diaries and electronic devices to ascertain the existence of any supplementary proof that could elucidate his motivation for killing his spouse. The investigators discovered an odd pattern in the weeks preceding Lauren's death while going through his internet records. Matthew had been reading up on coracidin and its effects when combined with alcohol. When Matt's hidden Instagram account was uncovered by the police, they saw a lot of posts about death, the devil, and the controversial film American Psycho. These posts used violent anti-Christian imagery that seemed at odds with Matt's self-presentation in public. In public, he presented himself as an aspiring pastor. When Matt's toxicology report arrived, it showed that he had a trace amount of cold medicine in his system. Still, the amount of poison that would have resulted in hallucinations was not present. This finding offered more proof in favor of the theory that Matt was conscious and not under the effect of drugs when Lauren passed away. According to Lauren's autopsy report, Matt stabbed her while she was sleeping on her side in the room. Matthew stabbed Lauren once in the side before rolling over and stabbing her several times in the face. The results of the autopsy also showed that Lauren struggled to survive. Her arms had many wounds, indicating that she had made an effort to defend herself. Lauren was stabbed 123 times in all. Matthew Phelps entered a guilty plea to the first-degree murder of his wife Lauren on October 5, 2018. He received a life sentence without the chance of release. Phelps spoke to his former in-laws during his sentence hearing, expressing regret and remorse for his actions. Matt expressed his intense sentiments of humiliation and regret after realizing what he had done. He called himself a monster and insisted that there was no logical explanation for his actions, that they were mindless and senseless. Lauren was beautiful inside and out. The actions of Matthew James Phelps have forever changed me, Lauren's mother stated in court.